Hello, everybody. Ashton here. You might have recognized me from a few videos back on Kratom. Basically, I wanted to go over the story. I think I have a really good story, and Derek wanted me to go over the story of how I survived barely an opiate overdose, right? And kind of wanted to go into the details of what led up to that and kind of the motivation behind doing it. So I wanted to go into exactly how I got started with taking these prescription pills, and basically going back to when I was a teenager. I had first realized that I had a lot of anxiety while growing up. It really messed with me, and I got a lot of, it was like bogged down anxiety, lots of anxiety. And I didn't know a way to actually deal with it. And the whole thing about it is I thought I found, how's it going, Glued? I thought I found the cure when I took my first ecstasy pill. And so needless to say, that got me into doing a whole bunch of different drugs, anything and everything. I thought I had found the cure for everything. And so I started taking a lot of ecstasy, but there was a problem with doing that. I was messing with my brain. I went into a very bad depression. And basically when I had found out that the ecstasy was kind of causing a very bad depression and making my anxiety worse, I had stumbled across some other type of pills, some Vicodin and Norcos. For those of you who know what Norcos are, it's basically hydrocodone with Tylenol. And basically what had happened is I took them for the first time, and I was like, wow, this is truly amazing. Like, I could have all of these feelings, like the good feelings that kind of ecstasy gives you, without having to come down after. That's the one thing that I really recognized when I was taking it. And so that led into me getting on all of these different types of opiates. And mostly for the longest time, I was just doing the hydrocodone with Tylenol. And when it took some time to progress. So I started that probably around the age of 16 with the painkillers. And then I stumbled across, my tolerance was going up so much. I did, 5 at a time, 7 at a time, 10 at a time. And I'd studied up that taking Tylenol or paracetamol, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. That's what they have it in the other countries, in case you're from there. It really affects your liver bad, right? And I didn't want to affect my liver. It was kind of insane, because I wanted to take the drugs, but wanted to stay healthy at the same time. Kind of a paradox. But when I was doing that, I had discovered, I had heard people talking about oxy, talking about different types of opiates like that, the stronger stuff. And I thought I'd never do that. But then somebody gave me this little tiny, I think it was a blue pill. It was the blue. I was thinking if it was either the green or the blue first, but I did the little blue. They said, just do one, dude. Just do one. It was a 30 milligram oxy. And when I did that, they said to snort it. And when I did that, I was like, whoa, this is way better than even taking, 5, 10 Norcos or hydrocodone. And so I was like, okay, so it's pure. I can do this, and it's awesome. So I thought at the time. So I started doing this stuff, started mostly going after the oxys. And so I got my tolerance up kind of in the same type of manner. It was kind of with doing them consecutively. You know how your tolerance just keeps growing and growing and growing. And so when I did that, I was getting up to a tolerance of about maybe 5 to 7 Roxy 30s. So probably, is that 5 times 30, 150 to 210 milligrams. That was kind of like my my top dose. And then I had somebody that actually was a full blown addict, and I always thought, that this guy's crazy. I don't think this could ever happen to me. So then I decided. So then he needed some, and I knew somebody that potentially had some oxys or roxys. And so what had happened was the guy said that he didn't have any roxys or oxys, but he had opana. And I was like, what the heck is that? I'm like, what? Why would I even want to do that? And so basically he was saying, dude, look, we can get them super cheap, and you can just basically just keep what you middleman and get a couple for free. And I was like, okay. I did a barely just real quick search on it, and I found out that it was a pretty powerful opiate. I didn't think it was better than oxy. I thought it was just one of those in between, just weird one-off type of pills that's not too popular. So I ended up doing that. Everything worked out well. Got those for him and kept the middleman. And basically, what it was a pill that had E40, and I thought that was pretty interesting because the rapper at the time was pretty big, and that's how I remember that was the pill. And these were the type that you couldn't crush down. They were the extended release. You couldn't crush them down. You couldn't do anything with them. So then I found out that you can break them down or like shave them down. So some people do it with like a nail filer, and but I had kind of like a what is it called, like a razor blade, and I started just like grabbing it with a plier and razor blading it down. And keep in mind, my tolerance was around 150 to 210 milligram per dose, and that was probably in a day. I wouldn't never go above that in a day. And that was like me on my level. So I took two, or I had two of them. I basically grinded it down with a razor into these little flakes of powder. I mean, it wasn't perfect or anything, but basically when that happened, I basically, okay, I'm going to start it off like this. So it was about 2 or 3 in the morning when I first did it. It was probably around 2. And then I broke down 2 because I was like, these are probably not anything. And I was so used to taking the 5 to 7 of the Roxys. And so I shaved it down, and I tried to break it up as much as I could because it was all kind of like jelly. I'm not sure if you guys ever experienced those, but it was all type. It was just really like not really like powder at all. So I tried to break it down, breaking it half by half by half by half. And then I lined it up. I did 2 40 milligram opanas. And then when I did those opanas, basically I was waiting 30 minutes, nothing really happening. Waited 45 minutes. And I was like, you know what? This is probably bullshit. And I'm probably not even going to feel it. So I'm just going to go to sleep. And so when that happened, I went to sleep, and luckily I was living with my mom at the time. And when I was living with my mom, I was 19, living with my mom, and I woke up in the morning, she says I woke up in the morning. I don't remember this at all. So it was probably around 7:30 ish, because she always went to work at around 8:00 a.m. And so she said I was kind of like slurring my words, and I was just saying, I'm tired. And that's it. And I don't have any recollection of this. So then I go back to sleep, apparently, and go back to my room, go back to sleep. And then she goes off to work. So while she's at work, about an hour after she got to work, she had just this weird intuition. Now, keep in mind, she's never came home early, ever. Barely ever. Probably once, maybe every 3 years, she came home early. And she just had this weird intuition to come back home, like kind of like a sixth sense, to come back home. About an hour after she was there, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. I think it was 9:15. So when that happened, she came back, And basically, I was laying down and I was face down on my bed, and I was unconscious, and I resuscitated vomit. I had vomit all over the bed, and I was face down like this, and I guess I was breathing it in. I was breathing through my mouth, and so when that happened, she was like, I just faintly remember this. Faintly, I remember all my senses went out. I was trying to open my eyes. Everything was blurry. All I could hear was ringing, and kind of like how you're underwater. It was kind of like I was underwater and somebody's trying to scream at you while you're underwater. You know how it kind of sounds muffled? It was kind of sounding like that, but there was ringing as well. So I felt like my whole body was like going, like starting to shut down, basically. And so when that happened, she was like trying to hit me. She was like trying to like wake me up, shake me. And I remember I was trying so hard, but I just couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything about it at all. And so I remember like she was throwing like cold water on me. She was doing everything. She called 911, called the ambulance. The ambulance came. It was just one woman in the ambulance. And then she was telling my mom, sorry, like I can't pick him up. He's dead weight right now. I got to wait for another paramedic. My mom said, move over. I'm going to pick him up. She picked me up, dead weight. I was probably like 170 pounds. I'm not sure how much that is in kilograms, but I was about 170 pounds. She picked me up, put me on the gurney. They pushed me out. And my neighbor, who later afterwards said, you were all blue, like pale white, starting to turn blue. And you were like, I thought you were pretty much done, dude. And so then I was in there. I remember my mouth was so dry. My mouth was so dry. I mean, I was like begging for water. And all I remember is like I was trying to grasp for air because I was becoming more conscious. I just couldn't move. And I was like, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe at all. I remember it felt like I had just liquid all up to my esophagus right here. And I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe. And I remember it seemed like in an instant, I was already at the hospital, and they rushed me into the emergency room, which I faintly remember. And then when I was in the emergency room, there was all these nurses, and the doctor was just there telling them what to do. And they asked me like, what did you take? What did you take? I was like, Opana. And so basically what had happened is they were all running around rushing to basically help save my life. And so what happened with that right then and there was I was like begging them. I was like, please give me like something to drink. They were like, I'm sorry, Ashton, I just can't give you anything. You resuscitated vomit. If you have any more liquid, it's not going to go down, and it's going to further, seep into your lungs, and you will die. So then I was like, please, can you just do anything? Because I was dying in all sense of the word. Like my mouth was all dry, everything. And so they got this little popsicle thing, and kind of like, it was like a popsicle sponge, like with a sponge on top, kind of like a painting sponge. And they dabbed it in water and then started dabbing it in my mouth all around. And then I remember they hooked up a syringe right through my heart, like right here, right through my heart. And I remember they had this little brown liquid. I don't know what it was. It was probably Narcan. I'm not 100% sure. But they were like, when we give this to you, you're going to go out. And I was like, okay, just do it. So then I watched them do that. And while keep in mind, I'm still like barely getting any breath at all. And they push it in. And as soon as I see the rest of it being pushed, boom, blacked out. Now I had no idea what happened to me. I had no idea I was totally unconscious. It put me out. I think they did that to lower my heartbeat, to get me back, so that I'm not really fighting too much. I don't have a lot of tension in my body. So then about 2 days later, I faintly wake up. I'm still I have kind of trouble remembering a lot, but I remember it was just me and the kind of the psychologist at the hospital, and she was asking if I was trying to like hurt myself, if I was intentionally trying to OD and I was suicidal. And I was like, no, not at all. Like, I was just trying to have a fun time. Like, I mean, I was just trying to feel good. I mean, that's what it always was. I was never suicidal about it ever. And so basically that's essentially what happened. And I told her that, and my whole family was there. People I haven't seen in years came, and I just realized how many people actually cared, which was huge. Because sometimes when you're into using drugs, you tend to forget people actually do care about you, even if you haven't talked to them for a while, even if you've done people wrong in the name of it. People actually do care about you. And you'll see it in times like those. And I hope none of you ever do. I know some of you probably have had similar experiences. But anywho, basically, I found out so many people did care about me. And that was kind of hard to see. So basically, I when I woke up, I remember like woke up fully. I think I went back to sleep or was unconscious. I don't know what happened. But I woke up a day later, and I had this tube down my throat, and I had the breathing mask on. I had all these different needles in my arm, and I guess the tube was to get all the vomit out of my lungs. And I had pneumonia and from the vomit, and then there was an infection from the vomit as well, resting in my lungs. And I looked back, and there was this big kind of like cylinder type of just storage container, and almost all of it was filled up. I'd say there was probably about maybe 1.5 liters of vomit that was inside, and it was all brown. It's disgusting. But I just remember that that was just truly amazing that I survived that. And I was in the ICU in the hospital. For those of you who don't know, the ICU is kind of like the I forgot what the name is for, or what the acronym is for, but it's basically the high the kind of the high priority patients. So basically, from that point on, I had never been in a hospital at that before that point or after that point as a patient. And I had a rude awakening that it's there's no shame in your game while you're at the hospital, because they had the toilet that was right next to me, kind of like those portable ones for elderly people. And I found out I had a catheter up my, and I was just like, I just felt so violated and so just like out there. There's supposed to be no shame in your game. So I was like, you know what, screw it. And I had never imagined ever having a catheter or any of those type of things, at least when I was young. And so I ended up staying, my whole family was there. And the guy that actually sold me the pills was there too. And my family wasn't too happy, and they knew somehow. I don't know exactly how, but when that happened, I had to stay. I was in the ICU for about 3 to 4 days. And then about maybe 3 or 4 more days, I went down to another room. And I just remember I wanted to go so bad. But you know what was interesting about that is before that point, now I'm not trying to, push my beliefs or anything on anybody, but I was an atheist before. And I didn't really believe in anything. I was kind of living by the physical a lot. And how they say, like, so into the flesh, that's exactly what I was doing. And when I ended up leaving the hospital, I started to notice that there was color in things. There was beauty in things that I've never seen before. And my mom had told me that the doctor told her if I shouldn't have been alive, first of all. And she said, or the doctor told her, my mom, that if she had just been a minute later, a minute to 2 minutes later, I would not be here today. Now that really made me think, like, what was it that made her have those instincts to come back home and get me? She never came back home early, let alone an hour after she went to work. So that was a mystery within itself, and that led me onto a path to search for my higher power. And since then, I've gotten a lot of understanding in that type of area, and I feel it's so true. In order to get healed, that you do need to have some type of spirituality, and you do need to have a higher power, no matter what you think it is. I mean, I don't even think us as humans can even comprehend what the higher power is. I think it's in another dimension that we just can't understand, right? But we have, like, there's all these signs that it's there. It's like, what can hold my body all together as energy? You know what I mean? I could go in more and more about that, but and people were praying for me, and I made just the pneumonia went away right away, and it was just truly amazing that I ended up being alive. Because if my mom hadn't have come home early when she had those kind of instincts to come back, she would have found me face down, probably all blue, pale, in my bed. And I can't imagine how traumatizing that would have been to her. Kind of makes me kind of sad just thinking about it. But yeah, so that's basically the whole overdose story. Now, I was going to do another video as well, basically on my whole journey, but needless to say, I was sober for a while, but ended up picking back up again. And basically that led into its own type of story in itself. I'm going to go into that in the next video I do on this channel. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there, because it's like these pills, just because they come from like the hospital, and just because they know, like, because they are from the professional, so to speak, like that doesn't mean that they're safe at all, And I actually had another experience where I kind of fooled myself into thinking that, you know what, I did 2 last time, but what if I did a half? And I was right over the point of overdosing, like just a bit, because I remember I was like just blacking out and hitting my head against the wall, like stuff you never do. It was not a fun experience. And I can't believe I tested it again after that. So that's kind of like the insanity of the addiction, like that Derek always talks about. That's what really got me, And then okay, so I knew I couldn't do a half. Okay, so what if I did just a little bump of it? You know what I mean? And that's where I found out I had my sweet spot. And that's where I kind of just thought, you know what, I'll save money. I don't have to buy 5 to 7 Roxys. I could get the Opana and just do little lines. And but that's I'll save that for the next story. But yeah, I just wanted to communicate that to you guys, because I know that story could probably be powerful, And I just wanted to put that out there, and I wanted to read it. I don't know if you guys have any questions. I'll read this now. I wasn't reading it, unfortunately. So go ahead and ask, and I'll ask. Drugs are bad. Absolutely. Yes, life is a blessing, and you don't realize what a big blessing until you go through times like these. Exactly. I felt like it was definitely needed. It was definitely needed for me to get back on the right track in life. And ever since that point, although I did still have a drug problem, my life went totally forward. I did things I could never dream I was able to do. As far as work, as far as getting into good relationships, meeting up with people. Although the addiction was still there, I was a functioning addict. And that was kind of like the insidious thing about it. And yes, I am room 616. I am 34 today. 34 days clean. Let's see. You look really well. Thanks, bro. Appreciate that. Did the OPs have fent in them? No, they were pure Opanas. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Glad you're still here. Thanks, Ricardo, bro. What do you think about the ketamine? I only did ketamine once, and it was at EDC and Electric Daisy Carnival in Vegas, and that was basically that was it. I kind of was mixing it with like ecstasy, so I couldn't really tell you. Yes, Ash, keep it up, bro. Thanks, Gareth. Appreciate that, bro. Very happy for you. Yeah, Ricardo. Good stuff, Ricardo. 8 days. Keep going, man. And guys, one thing I know that's helped me, I mentioned this in the Kratom video, but one thing I know that helped me the most is the community that Derek set up. Because I was able to detox, I was able to withdraw, I was able to do all of that. But until like this day 7 to day 10, sometimes day 14, I'd always have the cravings to go back. And guys, we only know one way how to deal with those cravings. We go get more, and it's almost unconscious. It's literally almost unconscious. So what you have to do, that I found, what I have to do is I go onto this Discord chat. And when I go onto the Discord, I have people to talk to at all times. Meetings have their limitations. They're only set at specific times. Like here, I can only go to a meeting at 12 p.m. or 6 p.m. But what if those strike in the middle of the night? What if in the morning? What if I need to talk to somebody? That's what this community is for. And the community is very, very powerful. I'm telling you guys, I rewired myself. So when I get those cravings, and they still come, I mean, I just had one today, actually. And when I go to the community and I'm able to talk to people, I'm able to remember, because here's the thing. We tend to forget so easily that we forget all about the pain. We forget all about detoxing. We emphasize just the pleasure. That's the whole insanity of it. As human beings, we should be moving away from fear more, but this addiction doesn't work that way, So if you rewire yourself to always talk to people when those things happen, that's exactly what Derek says. He says, do that. Talk to people, because that's what's going to allow this stuff to change. Because when you talk about it, when you word out everything you're going through, everything that's unconscious that's happening, you start becoming conscious of it. You start having awareness about it. And when you have awareness about it, when you bring your unconscious state into a conscious state, you have power over it, because then you have a decision, and then you have people rooting you on. And that's what the whole Discord is about. You can find it right below in the description. I really, really, really 120% recommend you guys to get on it, because I'm there. I'm committed to being on 16 hours a day minimum to help with people. I work online, so I always have one of these open. I'll show you my screen here, so you can see really quick. So I work online, so I have like 3 screens right here. But yeah, so I hope that helps you. With benzos, so mental, absolutely. Benzos were another thing too. I never got addicted to those, but I love them. If you feel triggered, reach out. Absolutely. The mental is sometimes harder than the physical, depending on who you are, what your poison is. Absolutely. Like, I'm not much of a drinker. I've only drank because of society, but I could totally see how most people, become addicts to that. And I know I have to stop. Because I've seen so many times. I was probably 2 weeks clean from not using anything. And I had some vodka when I went out with some friends, and totally made me crave, because it didn't produce me euphoria. And that's what my main thing. I always go after the euphoria. And so I would reach out to anybody and everybody. I drive drunk in order to get it, just insane stuff. Like I don't condone that at all. And the vodka, that's or I'm not sure what it was, but just hard alcohol in general. That's a huge trigger for me. And you're already in an inhibited type of state, so you don't really care. You'll go out and get it. So that's one thing I'd recommend. Don't drink. I mean, I'd recommend just being abstaining from everything. Maybe if it's legal and you need to, smoke a little weed while you detox, if that helps you. I mean, that's pretty much what I did. So I'm not totally against all substances. All substances have their place. It's used for a certain thing, but when it's used past that, that's where it starts to get abused. The struggle is real, people. Drugs are from Satan. I constantly joke about that. I don't know if you guys can relate, but I think when God told Eve not to eat the forbidden fruit was the damn opium poppy. You know what I mean? A lot of people get hooked from having accidents and getting prescriptions. Absolutely. I could totally see that. That's where all of this stuff starts. For the most part, I rarely hear of people going straight to heroin or going straight to oxy. They usually get Percocet, even though that is oxy, but very low doses. And eventually, over time, you're gonna have a physical. Even if you're not mentally addicted to them, you're gonna get physically dependent on them, and that could turn into an addiction. Gabapentin has really helped me over the last few days. Yes, I've used that once for one of the detoxes I went through. I injected 15 ecstasy tabs over a weekend. My addiction nearly killed me. Ooh, dude, I can't. I'm not a fan of the stimulants. Ecstasy was probably my only one I liked. And yeah, so that's unbelievable, man. Yeah, God knows how you're still here, Ricardo. Weed for detox. How about kratom for detox? I mentioned that in the last video, dude. If you want to, it's hard because I can't recommend anything, but what I did is I would go on and I would use the kratom to kind of like bring me back down, but then I switched one addiction for another. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I did, but it can be a very useful thing. I'd much rather see people on kratom than heroin or hardcore prescription drugs, or any prescription drugs for that matter. There needs to be education about opiates before they're dished out. Absolutely. Most people don't even know what they're getting into, and their whole lives are going to change. No more heroin though. That was 20 years ago. Yes, Cindy. You know what? Give me just a second. Okay. Back here. Yes, Cindy, it's crazy. They do it for the money. Unbelievable. They need to. That, you know what? That's another thing. I think it's so important to stop as soon as possible. If you guys are on, the oxys or any type of the prescriptions, and you're getting them off the street, dude, the fentanyl, dude, the carfentanil, they're putting this stuff in there. I believe it is the evil one, Satan, actually going through the flesh and killing people. We were talking to somebody on Discord. She's I believe like 20 something years clean, and she says more people are coming into body bags, and there's more people dying than the obituary can even hold from fentanyl laced heroin, oxy, whatever else. It doesn't matter. This is a time where we need to be vigilant. We can't be messing around with our lives anymore, and that's why I push so hard for people to get on the Discord. You need people to talk to, because we've only had one way to deal with it, guys. And I'm here telling you, I'm powerless over this stuff. But when you're in a group with multiple people, you're powerful. Your power compounds with multiple people, Counterfeit pills, yes. 100 times stronger. Exactly. And I've done the fentanyl too. And if I would have taken the same, it was the laced pills, the counterfeit pills. If I would have taken those pills while with the same dose, if I wasn't cautious, I'd probably not be here again. you know? And it's not a time to mess around, you know? We gotta beat this, guys. We gotta beat this. This is the worst time ever. Exactly. Exactly. And I so believe in Derek and what he's doing, because I think this is going to change everything. He's going to change so many people's lives. And I hope it's your life that he does change. Or I hope it's somebody you know that has a problem. Because I know he has the key to this. He has the key to this. He's demonstrating it, and he's powerful, you know, and I'm following in his footsteps. I'm so happy, because without him, I wouldn't be talking to you guys. Without him, I wouldn't have this Discord chat, you know, that's kept me clean over 34 days, you know, and I'm almost 35 days. And I'm planning on going as much as I'm following right behind Derek, dude. You know, and we have people on there that are 17 years clean, 12 years clean, 20 years clean, 6.5 years clean, up until people who are still using and just wanting to stop. And they're starting detox right now. You know, when you get all those type of people who have been in the same shoes in one place, I'm telling you, it is so powerful. I want you guys to get on there if you haven't already, you know. And yes, I talked to Derek, and Kurt is still good. I saw him. He is still good. Let's pray for him, you know. Really, really cool dude. Really cool dude. They're amazing people, man. Cindy, why can't you get Discord? Yeah, Ryan Donnelly. Yeah. Have you guys ever heard of the Pills poem? I want to read this to you. I want to read this to you guys. Okay. This is a very powerful poem. All right. So I want to just read this. Okay. So here it goes. The poem is called Pills. Now, this is how it starts. Pills. I destroy homes, tear families apart, take your children, and that's just the start. I'm more costly than diamonds, more costly than gold. The sorrow I bring is a sight to behold. And remember, if you need me, I'm easily found. I live all around you, in schools and in town. I live with the rich, I live with the poor. I live down the street and maybe next door. My power is awesome. Try me, you'll see. But if you do, you may never break free. Just try me once and I might let you go. Try me twice and I'll own your soul. When I possess you, you'll lie. You'll do what you have to just to get high. The crimes you'll commit for my narcotic charms will be worth the pleasure you'll feel in my arms. You'll lie to your mother, you'll steal from your dad. When you see their tears, you should feel sad. But you'll forget your morals and how you were raised. I'll teach you my conscience. I'll teach you my ways. I take kids from parents and parents from kids. I take people from God and separate from friends. I'll take everything from you, your looks, your pride. I'll be with you always, right by your side. You'll give up everything, your family, your home, your friends, your money, and then you'll be alone. I'll take and take until you have nothing more to give. When I'm finished with you, you'll be lucky to live. If you try me, be warned, this is no game. If given the chance, I'll drive you insane. I'll ravish your body, I'll control your mind. I'll own you completely, your soul will be mine. The nightmares I'll give you while lying in bed, the voices you'll hear from inside your head, the sweats, the shakes, the visions you'll see, I want you to know these are all gifts from me. But then it's too late, and you'll know in your heart that you're mine, and we shall not part. You'll regret that you tried me, they always do, but you came to me, not I to you. You knew this would happen, many times you were told, but you challenged my power and chose to be bold. You could have said no and just walked away. If you could live that day over, now what would you say? I'll be your master, you'll be my slave. I'll even go with you when you go to your grave. Now that you met me, what will you do? Will you try me or not? It's all up to you. I can bring you more misery than words can tell. Come, take my hand, and let me lead you to hell. Now, that is a very powerful poem. I want to know what you guys think of that. I'll give you the link right here. This is very powerful when you have cravings, guys, to read this. This makes you powerful reading this type of stuff and coming on the community, guys. I want you guys all to come on there. It is a godsend, I'm telling you. What did you guys think of that poem right there? So true. A plus. Seriously, I actually heard it for the first time from Ryan Donnelly, so I give all credits to him for pushing it. But on there, actually, I set up a bot on Discord for Derek, and it goes off every few hours of that video. So we constantly have it go off every, I believe, 6 hours. So just just to catch somebody, catch the newcomers, catch them so that they can listen to that. They can listen to that. I used to watch Ryan. It's so sad what happened. Exactly, man. Yeah, exactly. My emotions are coming back strong. Hey, Ricardo, that's the place you want to be, man. You want to be able to feel it all, though. Feel it all. Yeah, Ryan helped me too. He was a great guy. Great guy. He fulfilled. He beat it. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to see through the rest of his life. But hey, he created an amazing thing, and that'll be up forever. So true. The second time I used, I got hooked. Yeah, same here. The first time I didn't even think I really liked it as much. It was when I kept using it. Just have fun. It's fun in games until it turns into hell and a nightmare. Exactly. Yeah, Ryan was a great dude. Ryan was a great dude. His legacy definitely will. Seductive Lady Heroin. That poem's name. I'm not sure. I believe it's called Pills. That's what when you look it up, that's what it comes up. I'm sorry to hear about that, Annie. It's not your son though. It's not the real him. It's this disease. Yeah, Ricardo, I could totally see where you're coming with that, but we don't understand. We don't understand why things happen. Maybe he was supposed to go through his addiction and create all these videos for us to always have, and his life was complete. We got to look at it in a different type of way. Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to just read up a little bit what you guys were saying. Let's see. Yeah. You guys get the link to that poem? I'll give you also the link to Ryan Donnelly. His side of it. Let's see. Always good to see him. You guys go. But yeah, I totally believe in everything Derek's doing for us. He's literally changing lives, and I know he's taken the torch from Ryan and he's running with it. He's going big. I love that he's doing this, and I'm committed to helping each one of you guys. Come join us on the Discord. Come join us. Thank you, Ricardo. Appreciate that. Sub withdrawals for me, not worse. Yeah, that's right, Gareth. That's right. The sleeplessness, that's the worst part. That's the worst part. Surely God knows his own. Absolutely. Each serves his purpose, and that's what we got to aim for. These pills make us we're not able to serve our purpose. We have to be able to think clearly, to have the feelings. And just for another thing too, I just wanted to put this little tip in there. When you guys, I learned this recently, and this really helped me quite a lot, is I think we tend to have anxiety attacks. If you guys have anxiety in any type of way, that was the reason why I used to kind of drown it out. But instead of drowning it out or trying to replace it with another thought, because when you do that really quickly, that's what causes it to grow, because what you resist persists. But what I've learned to do and what's helped me not worry about barely anything anymore, and this was just very recently, and basically what I do when I get an anxious thought, like maybe about something stupid I did, or maybe something I regret, or maybe something, just those weird thoughts that always get to you. When you do that, when you have those thoughts, instead of pushing it away, instead of going to drown it out with whatever substance, why don't you just focus on it? Give it all your attention, and then question it and say, why is this getting to me? Like, what's the deal about it? And frequently when you do that, the thing will go away and it will never return. It'll shrink down to nothing, and that's something that's been so powerful, because now I don't really worry about too much anymore. I've always had debilitating anxiety, but I would always push it away or drown it out, and yeah, there's so many things you could do. You could do meditation, breathing exercises. You could do all that. But I found the quickest way for me to really permanently get rid of that anxious thought that just keeps coming up randomly is just focus on it. Panic disorder, I feel that. Man, it's hard. My whole hands shake and my tongue and hands like vibrate, and it's hard to breathe sometimes. It's overwhelming. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I'd look into the meditation. I mean, that's the one thing that I'd say would really help you as well. And what I would do, instead of just trying to sit in the quiet, look up like guided meditations or guided hypnosis, because what they do is they along with the really relaxing, good frequency music, they actually really put you into a really good state of mind. They call it mindfulness, and they're actually saying things to you. So your conscious is pretty much shut down, and you're allowing everything to be said to your unconscious, and which is extremely powerful. They do this with athletes all the time. They have a constant. They practice via their mind. They shut down the rationale part of the mind, the thinking mind. They shut down all thinking, and they just go into it. And that's what causes all of that stuff to happen. Has anyone tried ibogaine? I haven't tried it. I've heard of it though. Yeah, guided meditation on YouTube is awesome. Absolutely. I listen to those sometimes when I even go to sleep. It works so well. Yeah, definitely. And I'm just wondering, would you guys want me to do more videos with Derek? I'm just curious. Ibogaine works. Yeah. Cindy, was that to me? I mean, I wouldn't mind ever doing these videos. That'd be awesome. And do you guys like the live stream format or the actual cut videos? I'm curious about that too. No? Hell yes. Yes, of course. Yes. Yeah, do more videos. You are a great team and are very powerful. You help so many people. Thanks, Fonz. Appreciate that. It's supposed to work though. Live stream is more real. Yes, live. Okay, we can do both. Live stream and vids. It's all good. So we'll just do it all. We'll just dump it on you like a dump truck. More vids, better IMO. Live stream, we get to talk. Absolutely. I love that aspect too. I'm a big fan of live streaming and being a viewer of a live stream. So I could talk. And then plus it becomes a video that you can then, see. Do it all. Smiles. Awesome. Yeah, guys. Well, that was pretty much the whole everything I wanted to communicate with you guys. So if you do, since I've seen most people said yes, I will be on more videos. Hopefully, if Derek wants to go that route. I know we're going to do one more video, so that's one thing that we have planned to do, and just keep an eye out for that. I think that one will be I think we could potentially live stream it. Should we live stream it the next one? Well, between both of us, he's still going to drop his own content, but what we have planned to do. Absolutely. I know that, William. Love it. See you tomorrow, Real Talk Recovery. I'm not sure your name. Live stream would be great. Another day down. Amazing. Keep it going. Keep it going, Tommy. If you're not on the Discord already, get on there, dude. I'm telling you. It's so much easier when you have people to talk to. It's in the description. You know. And anytime, I'm down to share the story anytime. Yeah, definitely. Glad to see you say that, Skur. One day at a time, absolutely. Discord is amazing too. Absolutely. I got hooked on Oxy from my bad teeth, but it was the ops that actually got me the worst. Oh, the OPs. Yeah, that actually got me the worst. The ones I couldn't snort. It was a way different feeling. Yeah, they call them the champagne of the opiates. So that's what they call those. And I could pretty much see why, but I'd call it pretty much the ether of the opiates, to be honest. Alrighty. Well, yeah, guys. I think I'll probably stop here unless I'll give you just about a minute more to if you have any other questions or comments. Just let me know. Yeah, I remember this first time I did one saying I love this and I'm gonna be hooked, but it was a joke. Hey, watch your words. Life and death is in the tongue. It's like a rudder to your ship. Don't joke about things that you don't want to happen. Imagine it would be a reality. Awesome. Take care, Cindy. You too, Gareth, brother. William. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. It'll be on the channel if you want to rewatch. I think it could be pretty powerful for some people and valuable. Yeah, and we'll be on soon for the rest of the story. All right. You guys have a good rest of your night, morning, wherever you are. All right. Bye.